Hey everyone, and welcome to another Rosebud AI Live. I'm Kieran. As always, I'm joined by Jason and our founder, Leisha. Hey guys.
Hey.
Hey,
And in today's episode, we are going to be diving into how educators can use Rosebud in the classrooms. We have a lot of teachers who are actually already using Rosebud in different ways with their students. And we are going to be building something exciting today, a collaborative storytelling app. This app will let students build a story together, one sentence at a time, and you can choose interactive choices, and it's a great way to make writing lessons more engaging and creative. And by the way, we stream every Monday and Thursday at 3 p.m. You can also join us on Discord in the Rosebud Lounge channel and ask your questions, just hang out with us, talk about gaming, app creation, and anything else you are interested in. So I think we should just jump into it. And Jason, are you ready?
yep.
All right, let's go.
Okay. Let me switch over to template right here.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna head over to my projects real quick. I'm gonna head over to a template that I just made to help us make our app. There we go. Right here. Okay.
Yep. So you're just selecting the web app project with the backend support.
Yes, I am.
Okay, so last time we already tried in the previous Rosebud Live, we made a messaging app where we also used this template. You can search it on Rosebud just as a build web app backend support, V3 at this point, and
Yes.
we are going to leave a link for this template in the description of this live as well.
Mm-hmm. All right. So I'm gonna hit. Oh, go on. Sorry.
Yeah, please. No, go ahead.
No problem. Yeah, I'm gonna hit remix right here to get my fresh new copy of this template. And there we go. Okay, so now let's. First of all, the first step is for us to create the app without any backend functionality. So we have to think of what the idea is. The idea that we were discussing internally that I think would be pretty cool is a kind of storytelling app where teachers can create a session, and then students can join with a pin, and then when the students type their message, it shows up so every student can see, and then people have turns. The teacher can see everybody's responses. Okay, so the first step for us to do that is, again, focus on the functionality on the front end first. Let's say I want to make a education storytelling app where teachers enter a prompt a topic prompt that starts off the story, and then an AI writes the first line. Then students will join the session and enter their own line. Let's say turn by turn. Yeah, something like that. Rose, you probably asked us where we start off. Yeah, go on, Crow.
Yeah, I wanted to say that so not only students are going to be adding the lines, but AI is also going to be generating some options how to continue the story.
Yeah, we can add that too.
AI writes the first line. Okay, so only the first line, right?
We can add it that the AI, every time people, I guess, okay, so what we can do is that each line, there's like a few suggestions afterwards, so you don't have to click your own. You also can just click one of the suggestions.
Okay, nice. Yeah.
You could do something like that, yeah.
I made it up like that. I'm gonna show it later as well.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Krill create a cool one like that. All right, so let's. Okay, so Rosie just asked us how we want to start. Let's say start off with a main menu where you choose whether you're a teacher or student. The teacher option should be less prominent. Okay, so we're going to start off with like the main menu where you'd say whether you're a teacher or student. Then when we go to teacher, we then able to type in our topic prompt and then get our first AI response. All right, let's wait for this.
Yeah, so I guess what's really cool is that the AI system is integrated right away, so you don't have to really do much.
Yes.
It's going to help you plug it all in.
All right, so I click teacher. Okay, it took us to welcome teacher, which is not, so we haven't implemented our UI yet. So now add the interface for teachers to add their topic prompt and get their first AI response.
And did it make the title itself Story Weaver?
Yes, it did. I'll put it here as well. Changing the title of the project too.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, you're using the title that I used for my project.
Yeah.
It's a good one. And actually, so the way I created the title, I just asked Rosie, hey, based on my project, what should we name it that is fun? And just created the whole thing. So
there you go.
Really easy. Oh wow, okay. So we have the whole thing now.
Mm-hmm. So now create a new story, you get the first line. So let's say forests. Get first line. Okay, I did not get a response. Let me just quickly check the console. See what we got. Okay, so we got okay, so what happened just now is Rosie used HTML forms, but because this is a sandboxed iframe, just make sure that if your buttons don't work, just tell Rosie not to use forms and instead use divs. It's not, you don't need to understand the difference, but just if your buttons don't work, usually it's because Rosie used the form. So what are you going to say is use.
So if if you're somebody using Rosebud and you're not technical, you can also just ask Rosie what's wrong. You don't even need to know how to inspect element. You can be like, hey, I do this and I get this kind of error, nothing's happening. And she might actually be able to explain. So really you're not expected to have any technical knowledge.
That's what I wanted to add, that in my case, when I was making my Storyweaver app, I just said like, hey, I can't click, nothing happens. And
perfect.
Rosie just fixed it. So yeah,
exactly.
You don't actually have to go into the console and know all the pro tips from Jason, like divs and forms. Most of the time you can just ask like, hey, I can't click, fix this.
Exactly.
It should be done.
Okay. Awesome. There we go.
Oh,
so
nice.
Now we have our story beginning. Deep within the emerald embrace of the ancient forest. Okay, so cool. Now we have our teacher lines.
Magic.
Next thing
So not only are we making an app, we're making an AI app. Like it's powered by AI. You're doing generative stuff in there. Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly. Okay, so for our next step, we want to now, I think it's probably a good time for us to now add our backend, because it's hard to test this student stuff without having the actual students be able to join. So let's do that. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to head over to Supabase, head over to home.
We might have to again explain what is Supabase. Supabase is the backend, the brains of the, not even actually the brains, but the database, basically where you can store all the information about the app. So for example, users and maybe questions that you, or like not questions, but maybe some titles of stories, anything you actually want, but you have to have it if you want the app to be used by many people at the same time, right, Jason?
Yes, exactly, yeah. Yeah, the backend is where, it's the stuff that everybody sees at the same time. So you need to have it if you want to have people be able to connect from different devices and not all be on the same device.
Yeah, basically some sort of like a fancy spreadsheet that app talks to and pulls the information from.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so I'm heading over to Supabase. I'm going to create a new project.
Can you have a new project? Because remember last time you had a limit.
Yes, well, yeah, I've gone to the page here now, so I can make many projects. But Supabase has 2 free projects, so you don't have to pay to get started.
Perfect. So it's a free tool. Anyone can use it. Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to call it Story Weaver. Just choose the smallest. You don't have to change anything. Just type in a name and then type in a password. You can. I just recommend just generating one here and copy in. I'll copy it onto my desktop.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah, so all you have to do is type in a name and enter the password and then create a new project.
Okay.
Yeah, and then after it creates it, you'll then get you have a URL, and then you also have a non-public API. You need both of those to enable your backend. So I'm going to copy this here, head over.
Yeah, and this might look very complicated, but you literally just have to copy these two things, and you don't have to know much about how all of it works. Yeah, just let Rosie know, and she'll take care of it.
Okay, yeah, exactly, that's true. All you need to do is just copy paste those two things in here, and then your URL and your API key, and Rosie will tell you what to do from there. But the first thing you want to do, I strongly recommend you do this before you enable your backend, is that you need to describe how the app's going to work, and then so that Rosie can then recommend the kind of backend that will work with your project. So I'm going to say how this will work. I kind of said it already, but how this will work is that when teachers click the teacher portal button, they get a unique pin and create a session. Yeah, in the session, students can then enter that pin to join the session and enter their own lines on their turn.
Okay, so the idea is you create a session with a unique pin. So that's, for example, your class. As a teacher, you say like, hey kids, enter 3, 4, 5, and that's going to be the story they're building, right?
Yes, exactly.
Just to explain the idea. Okay.
There you go. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, I also told Rosie that students are going to enter their name for joining. Okay.
Yep. And then I guess the back end is going to be storing the pins for the game, for the stories, and then the stories themselves, right?
Yeah.
And that's how it all is going to be tied together.
All right. Now Rosie is generating our emojis.
There.
Yes, yeah. I said everybody gets an emoji, so.
Yep. It's a nice touch. Every time you want to make something nicer, just have emojis.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, there we go. Now, before I can actually test this, I need to give Rosie. Again, strongly recommend that you do what I just did, where I describe how it's going to work. Then Rosie starts to set it up. Then we say, okay, let's enable the backend, and you give her because then she'll be much more helpful once she knows what you're up to. So I click project URL, copy paste that. Here is my URL and API key. Again, like Kirill was saying, just copy pasting like this.
Great.
API key. Paste that too.
All right.
Okay.
Let's see.
Rosie should enable our backend.
Do the magic.
Mm-hmm. It's just let me know when you've run the SQL scripts. Okay. Okay. So what's happening right now is that she wants us to enter SQL into Storyweaver backend, the Superbase backend here. But we need to actually get it from her first. So please provide the SQL I need.
Right, SQL is also a language that uses, it basically is being used to talk to databases, like backend. And you also don't have to know much about it. Rosie's going to give you the exact SQL code that you just paste, and it should work. On the last live, yeah, we had the same SQL step with the messaging app, and worked fine. So let's see.
Yeah, it's like with Rosie, it's like no matter what she throws at you, you can always just ask. You are definitely not required to be an expert or even know anything, and you can always ask. So hopefully with these like devlogs, you can just see that you don't have to come with any knowledge to use Rosebud.
Exactly.
Anytime you're in doubt, just ask. And Rosie's happy to chat.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Okay.
do we have the sequel?
So yes, so now I asked Rosie. I think she may have thought she provided already. I didn't see it, so I just asked her again, like Alicia was saying. You didn't provide the sequel yet. Then she said, "Oh yeah, here it is." So I copied it here. Yeah, this is a very important step because what this is that this is the sequel that's going to set up your database. Instead of you having to go into your database and have to mess around all the settings, Rosie's basically just giving you this code here. I'm going to Superbase, going to SQL editor, pasting it, and then I run here.
So in maybe simpler words, it's going to create like all the spreadsheet, columns and rows, and it's going to then use them to populate with the data from that. So
Yeah.
very simple, but it's very tedious to do it by yourself. If you really want to, you can, but we suggest you just, use Rosie for that. That's the whole point.
Exactly, yeah. Okay. I can say I just ran it and got a success. If you see here, it said success, no rows returned. That's what we want to see. If you get an error there, you definitely want to tell Rosie about it, but we didn't error, so.
Okay, let's see.
Okay, now let's wait for Rosie. Okay, so now, okay, sure, okay. Let's make that change. Okay, well, actually, hold on. I mean, we kind of made the change already. But, okay, this is what I'll say. In this scenario, what I just say is that I already ran the SQL. Do we need to make changes to the project?
Okay.
Just asking what we need to do next. See what Rosie has to say.
Yeah. Since Rosie has the access to the whole code of the project, to everything you talk to Rosie about, should be able to help out.
Okay, she asked if she wants to proceed. I said yes.
Okay.
Weird.
Yeah, it's doing a lot of.
That's fine. I mean, she might just be confused about where we are at the project right now. So let's just clear memory. Okay. I'm going to ask actually.
Memory.
Go on.
A lot of times helps. Clearing memory can help if you have issues that just don't resolve.
Exactly. Yeah. So we clear memory now. So now Rosie has a fresh. Basically, she doesn't see any old prompts. She has a fresh memory now. So I'm going to now ask that. Okay. Can students join with a pin now? I just want to make sure
joined us, by the way. Hey, Cody.
Hey.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, definitely want to enable. Interesting.
Okay, so give you a new script to run.
Okay, so hold on. So again, what just happened? This is actually pretty important to go over. One of the things that happened right now is that because we cleared memory, Rosie doesn't know that we just did this step. So now she's saying, "Oh, let's use a different approach for SQL." So I might have to just quickly come in here and tell her that we just did this approach, or she doesn't think we're doing a do approach. So we just used this SQL. Do you want to modify it?
Just paste the previous.
Yeah, exactly. So she needs to know this is important. And see now she's providing altering stuff. This is much better because she's altering the stuff we just added, not giving a whole new stuff. If you see alter, that's good because what you don't want to do, and again this might be a bit confusing, but she created a bunch of stuff with the old SQL statement we ran. Now she's doing that again, not knowing that we already ran it. So when I showed her the SQL that we just ran, she now is giving us a SQL that we can run to alter the old one. So I'm going to go back here, paste over this, and run. Now we're good.
Okay.
I just ran it. There we go. Now she should. Yep, now she's updating her project. This is what she should be doing. So now that we've now run the SQL the way she wants, she's now modifying our app again. I'm just going to say try that again. It's a pretty big change, so we'll have to try it a few times.
Yeah, someone says many teachers will do very little and expect everything will just work, and completely agree. And the completed actually working project is going to be linked to the description of this live, and you can use it, remix it, change things to your liking, improve it, and yeah, you shouldn't actually have to deal with this whole backend integration. It might be a little bit simpler, though. The backend that's connected now is backend that Jason set up, so you might want to update it to your own Superbase. But that shouldn't be that complicated. Jason, what do you think?
Wait, hold on. Already.
Okay. Still debugging.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I was trying to. There's a kind of a issue here where, like, the change we're making was big. I tried to split into. Before. Sorry, what were you asking?
Oh, Lucia, we cannot hear you.
Oh, sorry, I was just going to say that while letting Jason debug here, just adding to Kira's point that this is, this is a little bit more of one of the complicated apps you can build with Rosebud. You can also start with something simpler. We have that. Also, a ton of educators have created just like simple games and apps like Explore the Solar System that doesn't need a backend, and you can do it without any of the setup. But we want to show you where Rosebud can take you if you want to incorporate your own, database of student information. And
Yep.
So
let's see.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a very important point. Yeah, this is like one of the more advanced things you can do on Rosebud right now, which is that make an app that has a backend people can log into from any device, wherever they are. Yeah, creating apps that run on where people don't have to connect to each other and are only using it for themselves is much easier. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's see how far we are. Oh, I typed that wrong.
That's going to be a fun
My
one.
bad. Yeah.
Exactly.
There you go. Okay, so now we have a backend enabled. We need to now make this actually work. So now we have to start describing how the functionality is right now, so that Rosie can then fix things. So first, when teachers create a session, they should see the pin and have the input to generate the first line. After that, they should see the story. Yeah, because I don't see our pin, and also the input for our topic is staying there afterwards. We don't want that, so.
Okay. Yeah, I had the same issue while making my Storyweaver, where you add more things to the app, things that work stop working, and it's just typical developer experience where you try to improve things and then you break what you had before. But yeah, you can always just say, fix it, now this doesn't work. It should do this and that. Okay, let's see. Generate session pin.
Interesting. Okay, so now the first line should be generated immediately after. Yeah, the first line should be. I'm saying that the first line should be generated right after they enter the topic, and they should not need to click a button for the first line. Also, the pin should get generated by itself as well and be on screen at all times. So I don't want the session pin to be clicked. I want it to just be generated right away once you enter a topic. I also don't want the get first line click either. I want it right after we enter our topic the first time. It shows the story and removes this button to enter the get first line.
Okay, let's see. I wonder if while we're debugging, I can show the app that I built.
Sure, yeah.
While we're just adding the functionality.
Yeah.
I'm going to share my screen real quick. Jason, you don't have to stop sharing. I'm just gonna add mine.
Sure thing.
And all right, so I built my own story weaver. It's not as sophisticated as Jason's, but the idea is that you can use it for your own story creation. So you can choose a theme from like 3 options that kind of pre-generated for you. You can make new ones, and they all generated completely from scratch, just new ideas. And you can choose those, or you can say your own idea. You can say something like Rosebud Adventure, and then you start a custom theme. And it generates some suggestions how to begin the story. And again, you can choose from them, or you can write your own beginning. So that's a little bit of a bug I have to fix. But we can just choose one of the generated options. At the last petal of the rosebud unfurled, a hidden world of colors and whispers beckon a million to the unknown. And you can regenerate options if you don't like any, and it's going to use the theme of the story and the beginning of the story to create the new suggestions. But I know that it's funny to actually include a few completely unrelated things and say something like, all right, like I actually want to show, for example, the adventure to Mars. And to Mars. And for example, we say, as the crimson dust swirled around her boots, Maya realized Mars held secrets far darker than she ever imagined. And then you can add something funny like, Maya loves milk. And you add things like that to the story, and then our generated options are going to include some things about milk. And you'd be surprised how far the story can go. But now milk doesn't want to be included, so we can add something. Martian milk is the best.
What I love about this example is like it can show how teachers can adapt it to the lessons that they're, giving to their classroom. Because like here it's like as free flowing as kind of creative writing classes or drama classes. But like say this is like a history lesson, you can actually create your app or, remix Kira's app right from Rosebud and say, hey, this has to pertain to like history around, like sort of like Egypt and this time about these characters, and you can actually constrain it. So it's something that probably your students can adapt as well as an activity.
Yep. So here we go. We already have, as she tasted the Martian milk, visions of forgotten Martian explorers flashed before her eyes, beckoning her to uncover the fate. And then you can add something more like Martian goats protect milk reserves. And then suddenly a herd of Martian goats appeared, guarding a hidden cave pulsing with ancient energy. So you can continue endlessly, but you can also just complete the story. And again, in the background, AI is going to finalize the story into a coherent one little piece. And you can read the whole thing, as the crimson dust rolled around her boots, and then we can look for milk and what happened to the milk here. And Martian milk that was rumored to be unlike anything found on Earth, according to local lore, was produced by the mysterious Martian goats, guardians of the milk reserves. So I have a little bit still of a bug. The story doesn't completely end, but it's just an example that can be created on Rosebud, and just a fun thing to share with your students and see what they can come up with the help of AI and their own imagination.
This is great.
Sorry.
I mean, can you show them how they can remix your project and see how easy it is
absolutely.
that they can prompt their own way? And even reskinning it would be such an easy change that they feel like it's their own.
So there was the app in full screen, but if you click the link in the description to the Storyweaver app, and you can click Remix, you are going to be able to change anything you want. So you see the code, the assets, you can just say, change the colors to be more green. I don't know, for example.
Or like
And,
for primary school and like first graders, I don't know, and have Rosie interpret what that means. And
yeah, that's also true. So that's up to your imagination at this point, how to, modify the app and make it to your liking. All right, green theme didn't work, unfortunately, but we can say, make the app more fun for first graders. Let's see if this works better.
all right, keep it vague.
Jason, how are you doing in the meantime? I want to bring you back and see where you now.
Yeah,
I noticed that on the last stream, someone commented that it was fun that we were switching between a couple of projects, so maybe we can do that.
Yeah, sure, yeah, no problem. Yeah, I think that from what I'm seeing here, I can kind of see that the way we made this product at the beginning is very complicated, so it might take longer than the stream time to debug it. But I think what we can do is that Kirill, if you can send me your project, I can make it that people can use a pin to see the story. Like people can log in and see the story that people have made, so that at least that is some backend. It's way simpler than what we're doing right now, but it actually still is a backend where everybody generates a story and then people can log in and see it.
Okay, so I'm sending you the link to my project.
Sure.
And you can definitely steal mine and do anything you want to it.
Yeah, thank you. I want to show at least some backend stuff here.
Yep. So the idea is that we have a working app that I made already, and we can add the backend functionality, so we don't have to take with all the creative parts of the story generation.
Might take a bit of time.
Yep.
Thank you. Let me know when you sent it.
Yeah, I did send you on Slack. So.
Thank you.
Hey guys. Okay, so Sean also joined us on YouTube. Hey guys, I like you keeping the process so beginner friendly. Next time, could Leisure Crew take the driver's seat and write the prompts? I think it might make everything feel more approachable. Yeah, Jason, you are way too pro. But it seems like we're all building it together almost. So.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's because it depends on the project. Some projects are tough.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, definitely. Yeah. That'd be a cool idea.
I think we can just avoid opening things like the inspect element and just not assume we're pros. I think Jason would be great for that as well. But yeah,
I never do those things, so I completely agree.
Yeah, that's true. I will not open inspect anymore.
Exactly. It's by the way, easy to start. Here's what you do. Inspecting element, not needed. Yeah.
My
good
bad.
Reminder for everyone. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So let's try add super backend. So right now, let's say I'm using this app here, full screen. I enter a cool theme, and then we now have cool suggestions, and it works the way Kirill said. But the thing is, what can happen is that when I do complete it, whatever, or I don't know. Sorry, do we have completion right now? Yeah, we do.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes, we do.
So we have complete story. Awesome. But the thing is, now, if somebody else, if I want to share this to somebody, the only thing they can do is take a screenshot, or I can't provide them any way of being able to see this on a different device. So, if we wanted, let's say, to make it that when the story's done, people can then type in a pin and see the complete story on any device they're using. Let's try to do that right now. So I'm gonna head over to, we have our prompt here. I'm gonna go over to this template here, to our backend support template. Let me go back. Where is it? There it is. Yeah. Remixing. I'm going to a backend support template and copying the code in there. Then I'm heading over to Storyweaver. I'm going to tell Rosie, I want this to have a backend. Let's focus on being simple this time. Add a simple backend where after a story is done, I can generate a pin and share it with others that can use the pin to view the completed story. I'm just pasting the code from the backend enable template so that Rosie can remember how it works.
While that's being worked on, I want to show the new version of my app. So that was one
We have a new
prompt,
version.
make the app look more fun for first
Nice.
graders. So here you
Wow.
go. It's a little bit more fun.
One prompt.
Oh, okay. It's not more fun inside, but oh no, it is a little bit more fun inside too. But yeah, I think this is way. I like
Life
it. I like the font.
A journey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Should I use that version instead of this one?
It's okay. I think whatever
it's fine.
works.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Unique. Okay.
All right.
Everything. Final story.
Back,
Creation
Jason?
team. Sure thing. Okay.
How's it going? Was it too big of a prompt?
No, she's just saying like how we should do it. Should we proceed? So I see. First,
Okay.
set
All right,
the
let's
project
bring back
up.
Jason.
Then provide the SQL script. Next. Yeah, I wanted to set up the project first. And
Yeah.
the super base to this to this project. Just letting her know that she should add the functionality to this existing project. Hold on. View the URL and API key afterwards. Basically, I'm telling her that she should. I'm going to provide her the Superbase details after she makes the change. Okay, well, she really wants to provide the SQL first. Okay.
All right. Let's see.
Okay, sure. I mean, that's fine. So basically, she only wants to give me the SQL first, so I'm just going to do that then. So let me very quickly go back here. Go back to home. Create new project again. Call it. Just call it Storyweaver 2. The password again. Create. Save my password. Now copy while it's being set up. Right now, Superbase is setting up the backend. Copy my URL. Yeah, I'm saying that I just ran the SQL. I didn't yet, but I'm gonna submit this after I run the SQL she just gave me.
Okay.
So there is.
All right, while Jason is finishing this, I want to show you the next version of my app. So now I said, hey, how about you make all stories and themes related to Roman Empire? So if you have a specific topic, you can just reskin it to any topic you want, and now it's the Gladiators' first arena battle. Or
This is perfect.
More.
I think
See the
teachers will be
rise
so
and
excited
fall.
about this.
Yep, the rise and fall of gladiators, and then you can see in the shadows of the Colosseum. So,
and this is so good
yeah.
too, because like once Jason's also showing you guys how to attach the backend, you can actually put in like classroom lesson information in that backend and make sure that it kind of like draws from that. Or actually maybe even in the front we can feed it to Rosie. You don't even have to be that complicated. But this is great. It's like thematically, changing the actual activity.
Yep. And
wow.
you can always make sure to, for example, if you want this to be very historically correct and not just, fictional, it can also be adjusted. You can just prompt Rosie and to say like, make sure all stories are factually correct or something. And I mean, it's not going to be fully, probably factually correct, but most of it is going to be very close to reality. So hopefully. Let's see how that goes. Jason, how's your... Okay, we are adding the backend.
Yeah.
two apps
So
at the same time.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. We're adding the backend to the actual project now since we set up the new Superbase project. It's a big prompt though, so let me just see. Weird.
Okay, I'm gonna bring back, so mine is ready now. It should be way more specific. So you change it with specific date ranges to ensure content stays within the Roman Empire period, which we love. Require the use of historically accurate titles, locations, and customs. So, well, let's just give it a try. A day in the Roman Senate.
Oh.
That's fascinating. We like politics. The sun rose over the Forum Romanum. The consuls convened the Senate to discuss the Gallic campaign of 58 BC. Whoa.
All right.
This heated debate, Caesar's ambitious plans for expansions ignited fierce loyalty, especially among the senators. Wow. The younger post-Caesar, warned by Tiberius. Yeah. This is incredible.
Yeah.
And what if we complete the story? Let's see. Wow. The sun rose over the Forum Romanum. Its golden rays cast a warm glow. Wow. So there's a whole story about the specific day in the Roman Senate. Here we go. And we can also, all right, I'm going to try to make it look more like Roman Empire. Roman stuff. Let's see what happens. All right, I'm going to bring back Jason in the meantime. Wow, Jason is
yeah, no,
like a 10x developer.
Yeah, no, so I'm not trying to be too confusing here, but so I'm trying to. The prompt is really big, so sometimes what happens is that when your prompt is really big, Rosie may not be able to apply the change. So you have to break things into smaller pieces, but it's hard to do it in this case. I guess you guys can switch over for a second. I don't know. If I could just get this first step to work, then we will be okay.
Yeah, we actually have a whole stream on how to make your projects bigger, and that can help. Please take a look. It's one of the first streams, and I'm trying to make the app look more like Roman Empire. Let's see. I don't think I gave it a good prompt, but you don't have to be very precise, and it's always fun to see what happens. And if something goes wrong, you can always try again, and don't lose anything. Let's see.
Exactly. There's a history tab too, or history
okay,
drop
so
down.
Here we go. That was not a great prompt because I asked way too much. Okay. Make the app look more ancient, resembling Roman Empire. And again, I'm not sure if this is good, but
yeah. But you can always try like vibe-based stuff, and Rosie sometimes has great interpretations. So.
Yep, she definitely did good for the first graders. It's a great, way more fun looking font. Jason, how are you doing in the meantime?
Yep, okay, so now I cleared the memory. So now I'm submitting again. Rosie's now, so now I basically said the same thing I said before. I told her what we just did in Superbase. So now she told me, okay, so what did she just do? She said, now let's add Superbase client configuration and necessary story management. So,
well, in the meantime, I'm not sure if you guys are ready to see Roman Empire.
I'm ready. Let's see it.
3, 2, 1, da-dum.
All right. It's an interpretation. Maybe a little hard to see, but I see the vibe. It's like a tablet, you know?
Yep.
Like these are tablets.
We tried.
Well, like increased legibility maybe as the next prompt, but otherwise this is good.
Make it easier to read. And you always want to say great or something nice that improves.
Yeah, because she's your collaborator. Start developing a friendship.
All right, let's see if that's gonna help. Jason, how are you doing? Life in ancient Egypt.
So now, Rosie asked for our API key and our project URL, so I gave it to her. Again, it's declared memory, so she needs to ask for that again so she can connect to the backend.
Yeah. As you can see in Kira's example, you don't need a backend to do so much already. So it's just like this is like the pro version, but you don't need it to get started making really cool apps for your classroom.
do we have? Almost there. So, we have the functionality to save story to a pin after it's done, so that people can.
Sean is saying Jason's putting Rosie to work while Kirill is making a new. Well, not every project should be so complicated. But back-end functionality is definitely next level. So if you want to have a app that works with many people and can do really cool things with it. Okay, well, here you go, Jason. Isn't it working? Wow.
Yeah, maybe it's working. We have to test though. So, story about a cat app, I guess. Complete the story. Yeah. Okay.
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 Wow.
She gave us a pin. Let's see if it works.
This is cool.
I'll share.
Everybody with a pen, they can just.
But that's the fun.
Get their
of
unique
development.
story. Yes, exactly. I know.
Fingers crossed. We have to debug this again, but at least it's functioning the way it should until this point. Okay.
Wow. There we go. Finally.
Yeah, it's working.
Whoa.
Good work,
Okay.
and Rosie.
So I'll share. Yes, I can send the project URL to Kirill, so people can view the complete story.
Maybe we can.
Alicia?
Both. Yeah.
Sure. Okay, I'll DM it to both of you.
Nice. There's a private chat on StreamYard if you want.
Oh, StreamYard, yeah. Good idea.
There's a private chat.
Private chat.
Okay, I'm still trying to improve the, readability, and for now I'm just saying it's hard to read the text. Make it better. I am not a sophisticated developer. We lost Leisha. Sad, but I'm gonna wait for her to be back. Okay, so Jason, do I understand correctly that we now are able to all join and add to the story, or what's the state?
Oh no, like this is just, I try to make this like the simplest one I can make so we don't take too long, but how this works is that now with this version of your Story Weaver, when you enter your story and you're done, it automatically generates a pin at the end. And then now anybody who you share it to can then they can click to enter that same pin and then see the story completed.
Wow, okay.
Yeah,
so basically,
like a sharing feature.
So a student can send the pin to you like, hey, here's my story, and then instead of like submitting the whole story, you can just share those pins.
Yes.
Nice. Okay. We have Leisha back. Cool. I know that we are very over time for our Discord, but we can probably switch to Rosebud Lounge and see if anyone's going to join us there. Also, besides apps like this, I tried making quiz apps where you can create different quizzes on different topics from math to history and science. You can make Rosie generate answers and questions, or you can also use something like Superbase where you can pre-generate your questions and answers and show them in a nice quiz and have the same functionality of, for example, as this story app, but for quizzes. And yeah, let us know if you're interested. We might do another tutorial where we go through the quizzes app, and that can be a great one too. All right, Jason, are you adding something else to the game, or what's your...
I just changed the thumbnail and published, so when people see it, they can see the new thumbnail. Yeah. Okay, but now how it works is that if you use the URL that I don't know if we shared it in the chat for everyone or not.
I'm actually going to share it in the chat to everyone, so please use it if you'd like.
Awesome, yeah. So how it works is that you basically, like Kirill was showing off during the stream, you generate a story with AI. Then when you're done the story, now at the very end, this automatically gives you a pin. And then now when people use the same URL to use this app, this at the top they'll see this have a story pin, and then they will have a story pin because you gave it to them. Then they'll enter it there, and then they'll see your story. So this is the power of having a backend, because now, like before, you couldn't share that way. You had to, have somebody beside you pretty much, or send a screenshot. But now that you have a backend like this, you can then even upgrade this to make it be that people can use a pin to join and enter the story, type into the story with you. Yeah, so many things you can do now. You could have a whole account where your stories are. You can have people be able to like people's stories. But this is how it starts off, with just having a backend like this.
Yeah, and your imagination is the limit. You can make incredible, useful projects for your students. We have educators who are really passionate about it, who created projects about history, about climate change, or even like recycling, because kids need to learn how to recycle. So it's up to you what you want to teach, and utilize Rosebud for that. We are going to be moving to Discord, and you can join us there to hang out. But in the meantime, this is it for the 6th episode of Rosebud AI Live. Please join us every Monday and Thursday, and if you'd like to hang out with us live, we are also available on Discord. Ask your questions, show what you're making, and hope to see you in the next one. Thank you. Thanks, Jason. Thanks, Leisha.
Thank you. All right. Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.